The Oculus Quest 1 versus the Quest 2. Which one's the better headset, and should you pick up a second-hand Quest 1 if you see one for sale in 2021? Well, I'm going to be answering all your questions in today's video, doing a comparison of what these two headsets are like after spending an absolute ton of time with both of them, and helping you decide if you should get into VR in 2021. Starting off this video, I do want to say I did get the Oculus Quest 2 for free from Oculus, and I really do appreciate that, although this isn't a paid promotion in any way, so all the opinions, everything that I say is entirely of my own. I did pay for the Oculus Quest 1, and spoiler alert, I did really enjoy it, and that's really how I started this YouTube channel. So let's compare these two beautiful standalone virtual reality systems. First of all, if you don't know anything about VR and you're brand new, VR is stepping into another world. You can go and explore lots of different places in virtual reality, which is what VR stands for. But the big thing about these two headsets is that you don't need a big beefy computer to run virtual reality like so many other VR headsets. A lot of the time you need to connect your headset to your PC, which you need to spend a fair bit of money on the PC and the headset to play proper virtual reality games. This standalone system means that you can play VR wherever you are, wherever you like, with no sensors around your room and no PC required, although it is an option, and I'll get more to that in just a few minutes. The Quest 1 is obviously black, with the Quest 2 being white, breaking away from the idea that most of the VR headsets were always black or some dark color up until the Quest 2, apart from the PlayStation VR, of course. Both of these models are the 64GB versions, but the cost is quite big when they launched. The Oculus Quest 1 cost €450, and the Oculus Quest 2 cost €350 for the exact same amount of storage and a better processor and better lenses and a couple of other better things. But what if you find a brilliant value Quest 1 online, or you're just thinking about should you upgrade your Quest 1 to your Quest 2? Is it worth the upgrade? Looking online, I can see so many brilliant value Quest 1 headsets because people are selling them off cheaper than what I think they're worth. The Quest 1 can currently run everything the Oculus Quest 2 can run, just at slightly lower qualities, except for Rec Royale that came out in Rec Room, which is a social game, and Rec Royale is a battle royale in VR, and you can't play that on the Oculus Quest 1, but you can on the Oculus Quest 2. But this isn't about games, this is about the headsets. They both have very different straps. The Oculus Quest 1 strap was pretty easy to get used to and worked perfectly in my case. I really enjoyed the strap and I think it worked really well. The Quest 2 has a completely different style strap and a completely different style of fastening that strap. It does take some time to get used to it for a lot of people, but once you get the hang of it, it also works really well too. The Oculus Quest 2 is slightly smaller than the Quest 1 in pretty much every way. It's a little bit smaller in weight, it's a little bit smaller in height and in width. It also has a bit of a smaller foam interface, which is something that you should take into consideration, and that is comfort, what it is like to actually wear these two VR headsets. Well, taking a look at both of these, the Oculus Quest 1 has a much more comfortable foam interface on it, or it looks like a more comfortable foam interface. There's a lot more foam on it compared to the Oculus Quest 2, having foam and then a big piece of plastic around it. This was obviously a way of cutting costs so they'd be able to make this headset as cheap as possible. Personally though, I find the comfort on them really close to each other, and I haven't had the Elite strap or anything that would boost the comfort of the Quest 2. I'm just using the stock Quest and Quest 2. I do think the strap on the Quest 1 is ever so slightly better, but because the Quest 2 is lighter, it sort of makes up for it. It's not pulling down as much on your face because it's a lighter piece of tech compared to the Quest 1. So for comfort, I really don't see much of a big difference in them. But let's talk about the comfort and the changes made on the controllers. The controllers got a redesign for the Quest 2. They're much bigger than the Quest 1 versions, and they have a big circular part in the middle now compared to the Quest 1's much smaller place for putting your fingers on. The Quest 2 also has this little pad that you just literally rest your finger on when you're not using it. And compared to the Quest 1, you sort of just set your finger on a button and didn't press down on it to do that. The Quest 2 controllers definitely feel a lot more solid for sure. They do feel a little bit more premium, and I do like the way they fit into your hands. They have all the same buttons, so there's no new features of pressing a new button on the Oculus Quest 2 compared to the Quest 1. Overall, I do prefer the Quest 2 controllers to the Quest 1 controllers, so have to give it to the Quest 2 for that. If you're enjoying this video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like and comment down below what you think of the controllers. I'm really interested to hear people's opinions on this because I know it's a very split argument. A lot of people hate the new controllers and a lot of people love the new controllers. Same with the comfort on the actual headset. A lot of people think it's comfortable and a lot of people don't. So do let me know in the comment section down below, voicing your opinions on what you think of the comfort of both headsets. Looking in on the lenses here, there is a big difference. The Quest 1 has a fabric going around the whole inside of the headset that really just makes it look more premium. It doesn't do anything, it's just sort of there, but it looks nice. The Quest 2 doesn't have any of this. It looks like it was just pulled out, again, probably to cut costs. But does that really matter? Not really. Both of them you can see anyway when you're in the headset. All you see is the lenses and what you're playing in the game. The layout of buttons also did move on the Quest 2. The power button has moved and there is no physical IPD slider on the bottom, which is basically a slider that you were able to adjust on the Quest 1 to perfectly match where your pupils were in your eyes, so you could perfectly line up the lenses so they'd match your eyes. The Quest 2 does not have this, but instead just has 3 options that you can slide the lenses to. It might be a little bit uncomfortable using the Quest 2 if you have an IPD that's in between 2 or 3 or 1 or 2. Personally, my IPD is 64 and that's what I always had it set on the Oculus Quest 1, and thankfully that is number 2 on the Oculus Quest 2. So that works perfectly for me, but it's definitely something you should consider when choosing between each headset. A big thing that changed as well, which is a shame that it changed because I did have earbuds that were able to go on both sides of the Oculus Quest 1, is the audio jacks. There is only one audio jack on the Quest 2 compared to it having 2 on the Quest 1. Whoa, I'm really confusing it with all these numbers here. I know for content creation, this was always something that was helpful because you could have one earpiece in one ear and the other one going into a recorder to record the audio of the game. But because this isn't the case on the Oculus Quest 2, you can only have one input on your headset. One of the big things that I actually prefer in the Quest 1 that isn't in the Quest 2 anymore is the screen's OLED display, which has now switched over to an LCD display. And let me just quickly tell you the difference. With an OLED display, the blacks are so much blacker and so much more crisp. So when you're in dark scenes in games like Phantom Covert Ops, you can really see all the darkness and all the different levels of darkness much more easily. Compared to the Quest 2's LCD display, these blacks now look grey, and it's pretty noticeable, especially if you're coming from the Quest 1 to the Quest 2. It's a big difference and something that I am pretty disappointed that it didn't go across to the Quest 2 because it makes a world of difference with these black levels. I know I'm talking about a color here on it, but you can really tell with the startups for both, with the Oculus Quest 1's Oculus logo being there and it being a solid black background. But on the Quest 2, when it loads up with the Oculus logo, it's pretty much a grey background instead. That's something that I feel is a shame that is lacking on the Quest 2, but the Quest 2 does have much better lenses at almost 4K combined with the two lenses. They're almost 2K each. When you're in the headset, the clarity of the text is much better on the Quest 2. Everything looks much better and everything is now starting to run even better on the Quest 2 because 90 Hz, which is the refresh rate, is coming to Quest 2 games and is already in some and in the Quest 2 menus. So what am I talking about here? Well, the Quest 1 has a 72 Hz refresh rate, which is pretty much how fast the images change inside the headset, with the Oculus Quest 2 now getting 90 Hz support. So everything just feels like it runs more smoothly in virtual reality on the Quest 2. A lot of games have been optimized for the Quest 2 to make them look even better than their Quest 1 versions. Games such as Trover Saves the Universe, Superhot, or Echo VR have all been bumped up to look much better on the Quest 2. Echo VR is also one of the games that got 90 Hz support, so it definitely runs much smoother on the Quest 2. Now, using your headset as a PCVR headset, the Oculus Quest 2 is pretty much replacing the Rift S, with the Rift S retiring extremely soon and the Oculus Quest 2 becoming the new hybrid headset. By connecting your headset to the PC with a cable, you're able to play PCVR games both on the Oculus Store and on the Steam VR Store. With the Quest 1, you got an included 3-meter long charging cable which could be used as an Oculus Link cable for your PC. This was well big enough to play PCVR games too, and you really didn't need to upgrade to the 5-meter cable that Facebook and Oculus were offering. This cable is €100, which is pretty pricey, but you do get that extra 2 meters, and it's also a fiber optic cable, so it's much more faster at transferring the data, although this hasn't really been implemented so far. In comparison, the Oculus Quest 2 it doesn't really work like that. The cable provided with the Oculus Quest 2 is extremely small. It's just like a phone charging cable. It's not big enough to even stand up when you have it plugged into your PC. You'd literally be stuck next to it if you tried doing that. Because the cable's so short, it definitely does force you into buying a longer cable if you want to play PCVR. You have the option of buying Oculus's pretty pricey cable for €100, dollars or pounds, or you could buy a third-party cable that now work as well with Oculus Link. A lot of people will probably use their Quest or Quest 2 as a hybrid headset to play both PCVR and mobile VR. I know I do a lot, and it's a cool feature to have on a headset. A lot of people were pretty annoyed that you had to log in with a Facebook account on the Quest 2 to play virtual reality, and that is something that you do need to be aware of when you're jumping into VR on the Quest 2. Although if you create a new Oculus account anyways for either the Quest 1 or Quest 2, you do need a Facebook account, so it's pretty much the same on both of them. If you don't connect your Facebook account to your Oculus Quest 1, you lose out on a lot of social features like party chat and messaging. Personally, it didn't bother me that I had to sign in with Facebook. I already had Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp on my phone, and I already use them all the time. I know that they're tracking the data, and I know this is how companies work like this, but if you're not into this new direction forward that they're taking, this might not be for you. So if you see an Oculus Quest 1 for sale, let's say for €200, I think personally that is a steal, and you should definitely consider picking it up. Although for only €150 more, you could get a brand new Oculus Quest 2, which is also really good value. It's really down to your taste at this stage. If you see one for less than €200 secondhand, maybe even €250, I would definitely consider it. But if you want to have the best that Oculus can currently offer with mobile VR and future-proof yourself so you don't eventually lose access to certain games, because I do have a feeling that will happen eventually, the games will just get big on the Quest 2 and they won't be able to run on the original Quest. Now this may never happen, this is just me speculating, but you know, if you want to future-proof yourself, you would be better obviously buying the latest model. I know this video did go on for quite a bit, but I did want to share my opinions and what I think is a good headset for 2021 virtual reality. I hope the comparisons helped you out. It did take me a while to put all this together, so I would really appreciate it if you could give this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as it really does help me out. Thank you so much to the continued support on the YouTube channel, and thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for continuously supporting the channel as well. If you're interested in seeing how you can get free merchandise, just like the VIP chest donor Patreons, click on the card above right now and you can go check out on Patreon how you can get free stuff like this. Thank you to everyone who's already purchased merchandise and are representing the virtual reality community. Once again, thank you to Oculus for sending me out the Oculus Quest 2. This is now my primary headset and I'm really enjoying it. It's really cool, and if you haven't tried out VR yet, I'd recommend trying it out. You're missing out. I'll see you in the next video, or maybe even in virtual reality. Who knows?